Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I think I'd like to run down some of the many political stories in the news this week, including how a Tory minister lost a fight with a rainbow, Tory MPs are mad at their leadership for making them look like idiots, the government thinks kids should be taught about porn but not how their own bodies are developing, and people in the southwest of England now have to boil their water like medieval peasants who ran out of beer because, yay, Brexit. So let's kick off with the terribly important work, actually, that Penny Mordaunt has been doing. You know, someone who reckons she'd have made a much better Prime Minister than Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak, and she may have done, who knows. People keep asking Rishi Sunak why he won't call an election. Oh, things to do, lots of work to be done, fulfilling the people's priorities and all that. And yet, what are the government really doing? At the start of the week, Penny Mordaunt was apparently passing a document around MPs, assuring them, amongst other things, that the world is not actually being run by a shape-changing lizard paedophile ring. Absolutely vital work there. But it was Esther McVey who provided the main entertainment for the week, and it's hilarious when you jam it all together. So on Monday, she said she was taking all these lanyards off civil service. They're not having rainbow lanyards, ridiculous, all this diversity nonsense. This is local government for local people. We'll have no rainbows here. She said all lanyards should be standardised. On Tuesday, Grant Shapps said he wasn't bothered about rainbow lanyards, and Downing Street said they would not be enforcing a ban on them. On Wednesday, McVey was trying to claim she never said anything about taking the rainbow lanyards away. It was all just the media making things up, seemingly forgetting that they recorded her saying it and the video is out there. Also on Monday, there was a vote to say that MPs arrested for certain offences should be banned from the parliamentary estate until the investigation is over. The government's preferred position was that this should only occur if they're charged, but it was a free vote and MPs could do as they like. Afterwards, when the amendment passed by a single vote to do it on being arrested, Conservative MPs who'd voted against it complained at their party leadership for making them look both heartless and stupid at the same time. Sounds vaguely ridiculous to blame the leadership when it was a free vote, but it seems there was supposed to be a second vote put forward by the government to overturn the Lib Dem. So the plan apparently was to risk the Lib Dem and Labour amendment going through. And if it did, which it did, they would then put up a second vote so you could overturn it. Not quite sure why they felt the need to play silly buggers like this, but it turns out that no tellers were put forward by the Tory leadership for this supposed second vote, so it didn't take place. And the Tory MPs voting against the motion ended up on the losing side, which is apparently a problem for them. But I say they should take it as practice for the main event later this year. Then the government decided that sex ed should be abolished for primary age kids, or most of them, and this would mean that you'd be teaching children about revenge porn before telling them the basics of sex and puberty. Now, it's not clear to me why a political party which has a bit of a habit of turning out sexual abusers would want to keep children ignorant about matters like this. Answers on a postcard, please. Needless to say, there's a bit of a backlash, and if this were ever implemented, I imagine it would be swiftly reversed after the election. But in reality, I don't think there's time for it to be implemented. Speaking of gammons as well, we had Brexit news. The High Court in Belfast ruled that the Illegal Migration Act is incompatible with Northern Ireland post-Brexit arrangements. Some unionists are not best pleased. The ones who promoted Brexit are already upset that it's causing divergence with Britain, as lots of people warned it would, and now it's happened again. Didn't end there. Last week, Sunak was crowing about the asylum seekers who'd fled to Ireland in order to avoid being sent to Rwanda. Oh, this shows our plan is working, he said. Everyone pointed out that our common travel area agreement with Ireland means we'd actually have to take them back. No, not doing that, the Tories insisted. Then this week, on the quiet, they started doing so. Who would have thought that the people who can read treaties, said this would happen and then it happened? It's a funny old world. Almost like maybe we should listen to experts more. And on this side of the Irish Sea, people in southwest England had a lovely surprise. After a load of cases of waterborne diseases were discovered, people are now being told in certain parts of the southwest to boil their water, let it cool down before drinking it or cooking with it or brushing your teeth with it. I thought Brexit was supposed to just send us back to the halcyon days of the 1960s, not the 1460s. We may as well just give up and return to the days of drinking beer to get our fluids in. We're back to cholera cemeteries too soon. Then on Thursday, Labour launched their general election campaign and pinned down the main promises to swing voters. These tend to come in fives, usually in politics. A 5-point plan, 5 pledges, 5 promises. Labour issued 6. It's like 20% extra to remember. Can we cope? But it threw the Tories into a spin. The fact that they were primed, because the front page of the newspapers yesterday were all about, oh, Treasury officials say Labour's spending plans will cost us this amount in taxes. Oh, it's terrible. They've calculated that Labour's spending plans will cost families over £2,000 a year extra in tax. It's not true, by the way. As the community notes on Twitter pointed out, the calculations were not based on Labour spending plans. They were based on Conservative special advisors' imagination of Labour spending plans. But the fact that the Tories were primed meant that they were expecting this launch, and so it was bizarre that this was the best they could come up with. The party which has actually inflicted the highest rate of tax on record is moaning about Labour tax rises. And Labour, apart from obviously pushing back on the idea of ordinary families paying more tax, which they won't, actually, as part of their 6 first steps, they are talking about raising taxes. They're not hiding. They're not claiming, oh no, we're not going to raise taxes. It's all in there. These cards, which are going to end up being delivered to the country, I'm guessing over summer, they talk about several tax rises. There's tax rises for non-doms and other wealthy tax dodgers. There's tax rises for oil and gas companies. And there's taxes, of course, on private school fees. So yeah, Labour are more than happy to say, yeah, we're putting taxes up. It's just that they're putting taxes up on those with broader shoulders, who are not ordinary people. Then to cap things off, Suella Braverman tried to steal the limelight. I think she found Esther McVey crying in a corner about how she'd made herself look really stupid this week. So Braverman said, hold my beer. She went to a student protest camp at Cambridge yesterday with the GB News crew. She was trying to provoke a reaction that she could then label as, these young people, the unsophisticated reactionary, here they are shouting, frothing like madmen. But the students knew exactly how to deal with her and completely ignored her, proper blanked her. So it's now hard to say who made a bigger arse of themselves this week, McVey or Braverman. And it is yet another week where Mordaunt wasn't even in the running, despite her brilliant opening move, talking about the reptilian Illuminati. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for further content and click the like button. You can also sign up for memberships if you'd like to support the channel further. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.